Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to e-rev TV. I am Pat, the Twiz Harrison, and I've got a special treat for you guys. Co-casting alongside of me today is going to be Centripetal, as we bring you, I believe this is round 6, GSG versus HKEGG in the ESL qualifier. So, Centripetal, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great. I'm really excited to be casting this match, and looking forward to these two teams duking it out.
Excellent, man. Glad to have you here. So I'm not going to have to go through this whole thing myself. As everybody knows from my previous cast, I've been a bit under the weather, so this is definitely going to be a big help to me. So let's take a look at the teams real quick here if you want to tab. We'll look at... Let's look at GSG first, which is going to be the top team, as they have Sivir, Rammus, Tarek, Cho'Gath, and Kassadin. Playing these people is Freakthier, Myth51, Parish HN, Money Mike 9, and Demon Lull. And Centripetal, why don't you tell us a little bit about HKEGG, which is going to be the bottom team here.
We're going to see Fiona Best on Amumu, 19 Way on Janna, Whitey's, it looks like, on Annie, Nob HK on Ashe, and Lycee on Gragas.
Okay. So typical starting items here, nothing out of the ordinary that we're seeing. Quite a few Doran's rings, just for some mana sustainability and that little bit of health that you get. Since that nerf to the Doran's items and the price going up, you see a lot more harass going on early on in this game. I think that's a pretty good thing, Centripetal. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, just the Doran's increase, not being able to buy health pots definitely changes the mechanics. You see a lot of cloth armors. You see Sivir running rejuvenation beads. There's a lot more variety in early game pickups.
Okay, so just pretty easy here at the beginning. GSG guarding the blue buff right now. HKEGG using a clairvoyance on that, making sure that they know that it's there. Jungling for both teams, obviously we have Rammus and Amumu, two very strong junglers, and they definitely bring a whole vibe to the game. Just the presence alone makes it kind of devastating for both teams, knowing that the gank ability that both these champions have. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, definitely. Amumu and Rammus are definitely not known for their jungle clearing times. They're more known for their really, really strong ganks.
Okay, perfect, man. So let's look at what the lanes are right now. As we have Tarek, Kassadin at the bottom lane, Gragas, Janna going to be matching up against them. Middle lane, Ashe and Sivir, which was to be expected, and then obviously Cho'Gath, Annie up top. The lanes look pretty well balanced out right now, but it'll be nice to see exactly what the CS ends up being like later in the game. Any stats that you want to tell us about, like which lanes you feel are stronger? Because you're my pro here, man.
I'm a little surprised at the Cho'Gath top. I feel like the Cho'Gath and the Kassadin could have gone either way, but after seeing that Annie, I might have chosen to go with the Kassadin, since he is in a pretty strong lane against an Annie.
I was kind of wondering the same thing there after I had said that that silence on Kassadin's pretty beastly.
Yeah, just after seeing like the early game CS numbers, Kassadin is not having a good time. He's only at 4, Tarek's at 0, so they might look to make a switch. And actually, top lane, wow. Okay, top lane, Cho'Gath might go down here.
Yep, I'm seeing that happening right now as Annie's just beating away at him. Cho'Gath very low on health, trying to ghost away now. He is ignited, and down he goes as Whitey's drawing first blood on him there. I don't know if your replay is just a little bit ahead of mine or not. Yeah,
it does seem to be a couple seconds ahead.
You might want to see if you can pause for just a moment, just like 3 seconds. I don't know if you can do that at the bottom middle there. But Annie does take down Cho'Gath. So that's going to be the first blood. And again, I wouldn't be surprised even to see a switch now. But looks like Kassadin still remaining at the bottom lane. Cho'Gath going to come back for the respawn. Gank going towards middle as we see Amumu chasing down Sivir. Sivir flashing away. Amumu barely missing that. Oh, maybe grabbing it. I seen Mumu miss it and then instantly teleport to it after that bandage toss. So the replay system a little goofed up there. And for those of you watching this replay will definitely see exactly what I was talking about there, why it's confusing. But Sivir going down in middle. HKEGG picking up the first 2 kills here and definitely going to get lane control for top and middle lanes. Your thoughts on this, Centripetal?
I mean, this is the perfect start for HKEGG to get their I mean, they would obviously have liked the kill to go on Ashe, but even their jungler getting a kill, plus their top AP carry getting an early kill is definitely a great start for them.
Yep, perfect, man. And now what we're going to see here is Annie's at level 5. Cho'Gath's only at level 3, so she's going to be able to dominate this lane here and just keep him back. Let's see what items that Cho'Gath picked up here. Maybe something to help him out through the lane. Nope, he actually just picked up a pair of boots. Didn't even pick up any health potions there, which is odd because she's had such a strong harass on him throughout this game.
I took a look at Cho'Gath's money after he went back after that first blood, and he actually didn't have any money for wards or potions.
Oh, wow. So now we're seeing Rammus trying to position himself behind her as he's spinning in, trying to go after Annie. Maybe going to catch her, maybe not. He does get up there to her, but she's going to flash away, and there's nothing that's going to happen here as she's back at her tower. Nice to see Rammus coming out of the jungle there for a gank, and Annie's definitely going to be a little bit more aware of that throughout the beginning parts of this game. Let's take a look at creep score right now, though. Centripetal, why don't you go ahead and give us a breakdown of the lanes, who's got how many creep kills, and which lanes are winning and which lanes are losing.
Sivir and Ashe look like they're all tied up around 30 in mid, although Sivir did did die, so that's obviously definitely bad for her. Cho'Gath's well below Annie, so he's definitely having a tough time. He's at 24, and he's at now 30. And let's see, Gragas, Janna down. Janna's only at 1 CS, but that's not her job. Gragas is at 30. Kassadin's only at 17, so that's probably where the biggest difference in this game is going to be, how underfed Kassadin's going to be.
Okay. So yeah, their biggest weak point being Kassadin. Nice to see that pointed out here, because he's going to need to gather a lot more farm to be able to match up with that Annie and relativity of an AP carry here. Right now, everything's starting to lean towards HKEGG. Looks like GSG putting a ward up here in middle because we've seen a Mumu come out twice now for a gank here. Luckily, they were able to catch 4. Ash Arrow in middle on Sivir, and Sivir just taking a lot of damage. And now we got a Mumu coming around there, possibly going to go in on her, but no, Sivir barely getting away there, right around 400 health as she was escaping from that. So he actually got all the way around that ward, Centripetal, before anybody could even see him. Like, he missed it completely.
Yeah, that was definitely a good attack from Amumu. He had obviously expected a ward to be there, so he took a different path and managed to arrive completely undetected.
There we see Rammus warding up at Dragon. Janna kind of heading over there. Oh, it looks like they've got that pink warded. Janna going to be taking down their ward. Rammus going to chase after her, but she's going to get back to the tower. And that's going to be a little bit upsetting to them, as that's 75 gold and a lot of map awareness that just gotten taken away from them. A good amount of line of sight there.
Yeah, Dragon vision and control is key in higher yellow games. I mean, with a pink ward there, the GSG is really going to have a tough time knowing when HKEGG decides to move on it.
So here again, we're seeing Rammus going to try to slide in here and go for the stun on Annie. Annie trying to juke around the neutral creeps, and she does get snagged by it, taunted as well, silenced from Cho'Gath, and they're trying to chase her down, but she has quite a big level advantage over both of these guys, as we're seeing her just use the Incinerate and hitting and running. Timbers is down, and now the gank has just turned into a counter gank for them, as she was taking him down, and she's not going to have a big problem finishing up on Cho'Gath as well, as these guys are in trouble. Cho'Gath ghosting towards the tower, Timbers chasing him down. 1 bar of health left, and Annie does have a stun kind of put up here, so Cho'Gath is going to be forced to go back, and that does not look good for GSG, as they thought they were going to have the advantage there, and this tower is going to go down.
Yeah, that's really unfortunate. You never want to try and gank a lane and then just have the one person kill the two. It's about as bad as it can get.
And a lot of this has to do with levels. I mean, Cho'Gath, I think he was sitting right around level 5 I believe no, Cho'Gath's now level 6, but Rammus was only level 4 when he initiated that gank. So definitely underleveled right now. Their Mumu already level 6, so he's going to be the stronger of the two junglers at this point. And back to the middle lane, let's take a peek here and see who is winning. Sivir at 51 creep score, Ashe at 63, so she's now beginning to pull ahead a little bit, and that's mainly due to the fact that Amumu's been in and out of the jungle, and Sivir's been playing very passive, almost to the point where Ashe has started to push her away and do a little bit of zoning.
Yeah, with Amumu just now hitting 6, it's going to be even more dangerous for Sivir, because if she gets bandage toss, he's just going to go right into the ulti and they're going to drop, and there's nothing they can do about it.
Yep, so Annie's got that top tower down, and that's pushed up, so she's now coming to middle to assist with Ashe and pushing this a little bit. And that's going to put a lot of pressure onto this lane as well. Let's see if Kassadin's done a little bit better making up for some of the CS that he was missing out earlier. As he's gotten to 36, but still not very good for 10 minutes in right now, and from that side lane. You can see from that same side lane that Gragas has already gotten 60 CS, so he's going to be the stronger of the people there. And I really wish this replay system would allow us to see Dragon, at least, so we know if it was up or down.
Yeah, that's definitely a flaw with the system. We gotta hope that Riot releases their replay system sooner rather than later.
Yeah, for sure, man. Annie's going to clear this top lane out and keep this pushed up. And what that's going to do is, as long as she keeps this top lane pushed, there's always going to be one person from GSG forced to defend that. And that's going to leave them the opportunities to push these other lanes and gank. And it also gives them the awareness of one person. So if they do decide to go towards Dragon or something like that, they kind of always know where that person is. So that's the advantage that they're going to have here, pushing this. I would not like to be the person at that bottom lane right now. That looks like a very, very boring bottom lane. Janna, Gragas, Kassadin, and Taric. Not a lot you're going to do there, but it looks like we may be seeing Rammus coming in for a gank here. He's waiting in the bush, beginning to spin out. He does go right after Gragas, and now they're all in on him. Stun from Taric, slow from Kassadin, and they're just trying to get his health down as much as possible, but it's Gragas. He did get a shield from Janna early on in that fight, and that's what mitigated the majority of the damage that happened there. But another unsuccessful gank from these guys. This is not helping Rammus with his levels, as he's came out of the wood or out of the jungle quite often in the gank, but not able to successfully complete any of these.
Yeah, when you pick up a very gank-oriented jungler like Rammus, he's obviously a tank, but he really relies on his ganks. If you can't get any off, and if you're actually dying during your ganks, you're just going to be put at a huge disadvantage, and it's going to be tough for him to ever come back from this.
And now at the bottom lane, we see Taric put into a bad situation as Ashe coming in there, along with Gragas and Janna, and able to take him down. And that puts the score 4-0 in favor of HK Gaming. And we've seen Annie, she might have been going in for Kassadin, but not checking that bush to see if he was there. Oh, she's going back towards it. Flashes in with Tibbers onto the stun there. And, wow, Kassadin with his blink, barely able to get out of there. And now she's began to put all of her efforts onto Rammus. Right in between these two towers. Janna coming in from the other side, trying to get in to help Rammus. Barely getting out of there. 377 health. Barely able to escape from that. And down goes another.
What time do you have right now? Because we're getting off sync a bit, so I'm trying to sync back up.
13:08 is where I am. 13:10, 13:11.
Alright, thank you.
Yep.
Has destroyed a turret.
So now we're seeing these guys, they pushed in, got that turret. Cho was able to actually push the top lane and get the turret there, so HK only had one turret and 4 champion kills at this point. Rammus spinning up as he's attempting to go in here. And nope, they are not going to commit to that fight. Wouldn't be surprised if we see...
Probably a wise move.
Yeah, Yeah, I mean, right now at this point, these guys aren't in a position to win a team fight. They're down quite a bit of gold. I wouldn't be surprised if HK picks up this dragon here. Nope, they were thinking the same thing as the clairvoyance it. But yeah, not only are they down to 4 champion kills, let's look at the levels right now, as the highest level on GSG is level 10, which is Sivir. Well, I guess Ashe is at level 10, but so is Annie. Cho'Gath falling a little bit behind to Annie at that top lane there. Amumu definitely taking a devastating lead over Rammus, being their jungle predecessors. Rammus at level 6, Amumu at level 9. So they definitely have the level advantage right now. The gold advantage is towards them as well as the tower advantage. So these guys are definitely looking pretty nice to this point of the game.
Yeah, was this much of a commanding lead? I'm actually surprised that HKEGG hasn't made a move for Dragon yet, because I feel like that might be a little bit of a mistake, because they definitely have had opportunities. We've seen that the vision has been down for long periods of time for GSG, where they wouldn't have known if they had gone to take it.
Yeah, and I found that a little bit odd too. But then again, Amumu's been so busy with ganking. I think that's just been their main focus right now. I mean, very rarely are we actually seeing him in the jungle. He goes in, hits a couple creep waves in the jungle, and then he comes right back out for another gank, over and over and over again. And now we're seeing Gragas coming in here. Now they're beginning to HK going to pick up their first dragon. Let's see if these guys try to make a movement to defend it. No, they're not choosing to defend the dragon. Instead, they're choosing to try to push middle. Which will be a big mistake from them, as HK is going to take down Dragon, and now they're going to come up and be positioned right on them. And we're seeing everybody beginning to scatter here on the mini-map.
Oh, there's an Ashe arrow onto Rammus, but that's not going to accomplish anything. He's already back under the tower.
Yep. So Sivir beginning to be a little bit ballsy up here as she is pushing top lane, and it may not pay off for her as we have Annie just coming in and destroying her. And that is what happens when you get ballsy and you decide you're going to try to push like that. You get an Annie that comes in and drops a giant bear on top of your head.
Yeah, if she was going to push like that, she definitely needed the clairvoyance to tell her exactly when Annie was going to come up, so she could spell shield that all crucial first stun from Annie. Without that, then she was an easy gank material.
And so we did see Amumu coming in for his ult there. Probably not the best choice of places, as very little damage was done to these guys. But he did attempt to commit to that fight. Just didn't have a really strong follow-up from HK. But they're not going to have a big problem going and getting a lot of chip damage, maybe even pushing this tower all the way down. And there's not a lot that GSG is going to even be able to do about it.
Yeah, it's going to be very tough for them to defend this tower, and they're actually not going to try at all, which is probably the wise move, because they would have gotten destroyed there.
Yep, so now these guys are ahead by 2 towers now. But that's not a big thing, because all it's going to take is one good team fight, and GSG could easily push these towers, especially with Sivir. I mean, you have Sivir and you have Rammus, both with great skills to push creep waves as well as pushing the tower. So let's take a...
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, why don't you give
Once the champions...
Oops, go ahead, what you were saying, and then after you finish up with that, give us a breakdown of items real quick.
Yeah, it was just the winning the team fight's going to be the problem. They definitely have good, strong push with Taric and Rammus and Sivir. Those are strong pushing champions. But the team fight's going to be really tough for them to win. I mean, it may not look it. The team kills are only 1 to 5, but they are down a dragon. They're down levels. They're down CS. So it's definitely going to be tough for them to win a fight. And now they got to start worrying about Baron as well.
Yeah, for sure. And, item choice is really worried me here, because Kassadin, coming out as their AP caster, as far down as they are, still choosing to build a snowball item, building the Magi Soul Stealer. What's your thoughts on that?
Well, we actually have Magi's picked up by both of the AP carries for very different reasons. Annie picks one up because she's doing well and she wants to keep it going. And Kassadin's picking it up because he's doing so poorly, and he knows that he's going to need to get a couple stacks just to stay in this game. That if they don't manage to keep him alive and he picks up some easy stacks, they're going to be in real trouble during the mid game.
Okay, some very good insight there. Cassidy at 71 AP. Kind of curious to see where Annie's at. Next time she comes back up, I'll take a peek and see where she is. Any key items that either team has built up yet that you think is going to be like, oh gosh, this is a game changer at this point?
From what I can see, neither team's finished an Aegis of the Legion, which is probably the first big key item that both teams are looking for. I know Ashe is probably starting to get close to that Infinity Edge, and when she gets that, she's just gonna, the damage is gonna start becoming too much to handle for GSG. As far as GSG goes, they're really just Catalyst and Boots. That's about all they can afford right now. So they really aren't close to any huge items that's going to make a big impact.
Okay.
Oh wow, Ashe might be overextending a lot here. She's probably, yeah, she's definitely going to get, wow, that was really bad by that Ashe. Just you just see all the CC come out, the taunt, the stun, the Cho'Gath rupture.
Yep, I think I'm still a couple seconds behind you. I'm at 1937, so we just now finally seen that as Ashe did overextend to go after Rammus and taken down there.
Yeah, with this replay system, I can't unfortunately pause, so I think I'm just going to have to stay about 10 seconds ahead of you.
And now these guys, with Ashe down, they're going to try to use this as an opportunity to push, but little do they know that they have Janna and Annie coming up from behind here. Amumu's just kind of holding his little area here, waiting to see if he can stay up here and commit to these guys. Rammus now running away, but we see Gragas going to try to come in here and cut off Taric. Will he be able to? Nope, he's able to grab the Rammus here, though. And now we're going to see this entire team just destroy poor little Rammus here. Sivir hiding in this bush. Will they be able to find her in time to get her before she teleports out? Did you see that? I seen Gragas walk into that bush and then use his little cask and not even attack Sivir. I think they noticed it as well.
Yeah, it definitely looks like it. They're having a good laugh about the fact that she's not dead right now.
Well, they're just going to give her a free one. The score 2-7 in favor of HKEGG Gaming. And at this point, I don't know if there's a lot that there's a lot GSG can actually do to be able to come back and really win this. They don't really have, they have quite a few tanky champions, but they don't have the kind of damage output that HKEGG has right now.
Yeah, definitely. What they need to do now is just sort of farm their lanes, try to get as much gold onto their carries as they can, and then make sure to stop a Baron attempt and not get picked off. Because when that Baron is completed by HKEGG, that will probably spell the end of the game.
Okay, and again, just to give you guys an idea on how much gold HKEGG Gaming actually has over these guys, if you take a look at the screen here, they actually have 3 people that are all right around 140 or up for CS right now, where GSG only has 1 person that's over the 100 CS range, and of course that's going to be Sivir, which isn't a problem for her. So these guys, just with a devastating amount more of gold, as they've already picked up a dragon and 2 additional towers, as well as the additional 5 champion kills that they have on top of them.
That's definitely true. That's actually a ridiculous amount more gold than the other team has. Like 50 creep kills is a lot of creep kills at this point in the game. And the fact that so many champions have such a huge advantage is... Oh wow, they're going to go for a dragon here while Ashe kites the entire enemy team.
So yeah, we did see Ashe running away from everybody up here. The rest of the team following up on the dragon. But Ashe may be able to dip out of here. She could escape. She is running and going. Cho'Gath with his rupture. And she is up. 2 health bars. Cho'Gath's going to stay in on her. And finally she goes down. But the rest of these guys going to be down there at dragon. And they're able to pick that up. Ashe does go down. But you know what? This is probably just a good chance for her to go to the well and finish up that Infinity Edge. Which is exactly what happened.
Yeah, that's really...
exactly what happened.
Yep, you're totally right. This is not that big a deal. I mean, obviously you don't want your carries dying, but picking up a dragon is, for your entire team, is worth much, much more than 1 individual kill. Always wanted to make that trade.
Yeah, but now we're seeing some core items beginning to get built here. As we did see Ash pick up the Infinity Edge. Banshee's Veil on a Moo now, which is definitely one of the stronger items that you need for a team like this, especially with Kassadin, Tarek, a lot of people with attacks that are solo attacks.
It looks like HKEGG is actually going to push, and I think they're in the right, because Janna's actually just completed her Aegis of the Legion, but you can see that Tariq has not completed his yet, and that is a huge benefit to their team. It's going to make their whole team a lot tankier, and GSG is really not going to be able to fight.
Yep, very, very, very true there, and these guys are ready, and now we're seeing them gather up in the middle here. Definitely in the position to push, and now that they're at this tower, there's not a lot these guys are going to be able to do to defend it. So we're seeing Cass and everybody else coming from the side. Cho'Gath finally coming from the back here. Going to come in here. Rammus choosing to commit here as he's coming in, flashes in, tries to get the stun, and no, the rest of these guys are just destroying him. All focus on Rammus right now as he is actually up with them. That's all going on right now, and he is going down. Probably not the prime choice of target. Amumu barely staying alive as they are going after him. Kassadin with his blink in there. HKEGG actually doing a lot worse than what I had expected here, as they, in this team fight, they are definitely getting destroyed right now. Very surprising to see that happen, and I think a lot of it was because a lot of that early targeting was going to Rammus, and the rest of the team was just free casting from the back.
Yeah, definitely. You can't count GSG out. I mean, they still have strong damage dealers in Kassadin and Sivir, and if you don't get focus onto them, they're just gonna pick you apart while you take down Rammus, which is exactly what GSG needed. They needed to come back in this game, and that was definitely the start of it.
Yep, and down goes Knob HK. So they're... looks like we have Annie trying to chase down Kassadin, trying to come in there and save Cho'Gath. Cho'Gath at very low health and trying to run away and get out of here. I never noticed which items he had built up here. Still just with Catalyst and his Megatron cloak. Merc treads, and that's pretty much it. Sivir has completed her Bloodthirst, though. Sorry I missed that, but yeah, she has one of her core items here as well. The score now being 7-8 in favor of HKEGG. And this may turn out to be a pretty good match for us.
Yeah, definitely. I'd agree with that. The farm does seem to be evening out a little bit. The creep kills are evening out a little bit. So now it's just gonna be about tower kills and Baron is the name of the game after this point.
Yep, Baron is going to be the key point, and I don't know what we have Rammus doing there, going up after Gragas. So we do have Baron awarded again for these guys. I think it was just a green award. Yeah, green award going up there. And what we've begun to see them do is post some defensive wards up here around Baron, which indicates that they may be considering doing it soon, which is exactly what that ward there that you're seeing is. Yeah, 2 sets of defensive wards around Baron. So what they're trying to do, I don't know if they're waiting for them to attempt to Baron, or if they're possibly going to set up to try to Baron.
I'm actually seeing that they put an Oracle on Sivir, which is pretty interesting, because it tells me that either they're not confident that Tariq or Cho'Gath will be able to survive the fight, or they just don't have enough money, and Sivir's the only one with the gold to actually pick it out.
I think you're probably going to be leaning more towards the second one here, and probably complementing your first theory as well. I mean, with neither one of these guys really having the gold for it, you know, their survivability is going to be down too, because, I mean, the reason that you survive fights is based on items. Items cost gold. If you don't have gold, you can't buy items, which means you die. Pretty simple equation. Sivir with the most farm on their team there, 400 gold's nothing. It's chump change to what she's got right now, so if she dies, no big deal. So we see HKEGG as they've pushed up to this middle tower here, and I did see them start to back. They may possibly be considering Baroning here. But I really, at this point, you need to pick up one of these ganks. So you need to grab somebody, make the fight 4v5, then take your Baron. And And this may be some kind of possibly a bait here. And now they're going to go after Gragas. Gragas using his dash to get away. Andy's stunning in. And now we have Cassidy following up on that. And now 3 of these people are caught in the woods. Gragas is behind, so this fight definitely not fair for HKEGG, as GSG is able to just destroying Jana there. And now we're seeing Annie and Ash both trying to run back here. Gragas coming in. Everybody at pretty low health here for HKEGG. I'm sorry, for GSG Gaming, and down they go. These guys did a great job repositioning themselves there, and now they're committing themselves to this fight, and they're just going to chase around and clean up and then grab that Baron, and things are definitely changing pace as HKEGG pulling through on that fight, and now's where we're going to see them take that Baron. Katzen trying to come up from behind on Ash, barely alive. Will Ash be able to get a volley off quick enough to kill him? And it... No, Cassidy with the flash away there at the last second, but we did see Ash go down, which is a lot of their damage for Baron, which may actually save them from getting Baron.
Yeah, exactly. That team fight turned around in a hurry. Actually, GSG got caught chasing a little. They picked off the Jana, and they're like, hey, we can win this fight. And they just moved on it, and they got caught. Like, they didn't have the damage, they couldn't keep it up. Sivir and Rammus went down. And the whole fight changed.
Yep, absolutely. And just so you guys see how important that is, what Cassidy did there. If Cassidy kills Ash, they don't Baron. Okay? If Ash kills Cassidy, they do Baron. It's pretty simple there. Right? Am I right on that, or do I sound really stupid?
No, that's a great point. Like, the physical damage will always be your biggest damage on Baron. Mages just don't put out as much sustained DPS as physical. That's just how the game works. So if you take out their Ash, then, I mean, who do they have left to Baron? They have some tanks and they have an Annie. Sure, they'll do great in a team fight, but they can't really take down Baron.
Yep. Very true there. So that, I mean, I just wanted you guys to see just how important that was. Because if Ash did live there and they got Baron, this very next team fight would have swayed towards HKEGG drastically compared to what GSG would be able to do. So, again, a lot of this stuff is going to be what happens here at Baron and where this next fight takes place. So let's take a quick look at items again. Sivir finishing up her Banshee's Veil for that survivability. Annie with a couple key items here. She's got her Magi's. I don't know how many stacks she has on that. She's got her Banshees as well as Rabadons from all of the farm that she's picked up. And Ash finishing the Banshees as well. So, a couple more key items that we've seen take place. Annie at 11 stacks right now. With her items puts her at 400 AP, which is quite a bit of damage from Tibbers.
Yeah, definitely. At this point in the game, 400 AP plus a Banshee Veil makes Annie just a complete monster. And, I mean, that's going to be really tough to deal with in team fights.
Yep, so now we're seeing a little bit of bait action going on by HKEGG, which definitely might not be what they're looking to do. I don't think that they realize just how warded that they are there. Ash making her presence known at the top lane, hoping that they can catch one going over to check, but little do they know they're standing right on top of the ward.
That's actually quite funny that the fact that Jana doesn't walk into that bush makes it so they don't know that there's a ward in there.
Yeah, there goes Jana. Now she goes into the bush and she sees that it's there. So here's where the next team fight's going to take place. It's definitely going to be here at Baron, as they've now caught Gragas. They're chasing Gragas, which is exactly what you want. Get them to go after the tank, send your casters and stuff in the back. So we're seeing Annie and Ash both position themselves at the back of this fight here. And these guys are all just focusing Gragas, which isn't what they want. Jana protecting Ash from Rammus with their ultimate there. And now we're seeing Gragas possibly going down, trying to escape. They're going to chase Tarek and Cassidy, both getting killed here. Everybody dropping down. These team fights are getting very, very close as we have Cho'Gath chasing down Annie. Mumu trying to do everything that he can to save him there. Rammus going down here. Annie being chased, still almost down. What's going to happen? The silence. She's barely alive. Did she survive that? And she does, with very little health. 7-0 and 7. Oh my gosh. And the surrender vote comes up, and I think everybody's voting no. A little bit of rage on them, but now they're going to be able to pick up that Baron buff. Did you see that Annie there, Centripetal? Like, no health the entire time.
Yeah, that was actually really well played by that Annie. She came in, actually, from Golem, and that's where she initiated from, and she dropped Tibbers onto just that bush was the ward in it, and there were 2 or 3 or 4 GSG teammates just piled in that bush, and Tibbers just wrecked them. But then Cho'Gath and Rammus just did a lot of damage to her, and she barely escaped. I'm actually really surprised she got away there.
So now they are able to pick up Baron. GSG, I don't know if they're going to try to run there and see if they've got it. I mean, I'm sure they know that by this time it's finished up. Looking to try to catch anybody in a bush, teleporting away is what we're seeing Cassidy doing. He's going up towards the top, towards Ash. Ash does not want to lose this Baron buff. She kind of realizes that as she's now backing. But everything in favor of HKEGG right now. Annie picking up one more item gives her a little bit survivability, some more ability power, and then of course that 20 magic pin. And that item I'm talking about, none other than the Haunting Guys. So another solid pickup for her. Yeah, very important that she picks up that magic pin.
Yeah, that was actually. I'm wondering if she did that to be more tanky. Because the magic pen this late in the game, she'd probably be better off going for a void staff. But I don't think she feels tanky enough.
Yeah, for sure. That's kind of what I was looking at, too. In a lot of the fights, she's barely been able to do much because, if you haven't noticed it, Rammus just tries to go after her the entire time. He goes after Ash, and then Janna, of course, is babysitting Ash. So since Rammus realized that, Rammus is just instantly going after her, along with Cho'Gath. They're just skipping everybody else and going right towards her and Ash. So that little bit of survivability is definitely going to be something to help them out in the long run here. And then I'm just wondering if it's just not a quick item to build because they know that they've got about one more push left before they can win this, compared to like item by item going for something like a Rowley's Crystal Scepter.
You could definitely be right about that. Instead of picking up like triple potting, because you can't really do that on a mage, you just pick up a quick Haunting Guys. Sounds kind of funny, but who knows, it might work.
Yep, so we're seeing Annie go down here as they put everything onto Tarek there at the beginning of this fight. So this is pretty nice here. Cho'Gath finally picking up another kill as we have an Ash arrow coming in, landing on Sivir. So that's definitely a nice important thing there. She was slowed down. Ash coming in with the follow-up on there. Sivir going to be the next one to go down. Cho'Gath going immediately after Ash, and now they're finding themselves with only Rammus and Cho'Gath alive as we see Gragas just beating away at Rammus. Rammus now dropping down as well. Cho'Gath trying to run away, but no, he's going to get bandage tossed by a Mumu. And he may get out of here. Gragas with the dash up there, but looks like 4 people from GSG going down compared to only 2 of them from HKEGG, and Janna almost back up already.
Yeah, that fight actually looked really even until the Ash came. So you see the Annie get picked off, but then all the damage was gone. The Cho'Gath feast, like everybody's burst was gone, and Ash just came in and cleaned house.
Yeah, Ash doing 273 damage a hit right now, and she's built a great item, which is the Last Whisper. So you get the damage and you get all of that armor pen as well to counter these tanky champions.
That's definitely a strong pickup, that Last Whisper, because obviously Rammus is a very tanky character with his defensive ball curl. He has a lot of armor even without specifically itemizing for it. Along with Cho'Gath looking like he might go for a Guardian Angel, so that's also a lot of armor. And it just lets her do that much more damage to the whole team.
So 11-20 right now is the current score for champion kills. And the next fight we may see being a little bit closer here as a couple of the Baron buffs have gone down and the others should be wore off. Still a little bit closer than what you expected, seeing how they did have Baron. So GSG definitely doing a very strong comeback here and hoping to come out with the victory, but now they are losing their middle inhibin tower as well.
Yeah, once the inhibs start going down, it gets real tough. Just the super minion creeps keep you in your base. That's what they do. They let the enemy team farm the entire enemy jungle, or then your jungle, and they give you much easier Baron control.
Yep, absolutely. The towers now, well, HK's only lost 2 towers, where GSG has lost all of their middle towers, their top tower, and 2 of their bottom towers. So the gold mainly going towards HKEGG, as well as all the dragons that have been picked up, as well as Baron since then. A little idea of CS, they now have 3 champions that are well over 200 creep kills. The next closest one to them is Sivir on the opposing team for GSG, who's at 252. Everybody else is 155, 162. And then Ramus at 91. Of course, Tarek and Jana not going to be taking really any farm here.
It's actually pretty funny that Siver's actually leading this game in CS because she's getting so much of her team's CS that even though the other team's winning, she has the highest CS in the game.
And Siver's a champion that can do that. I mean, really it is. It's like, you see it often even with like an Anivia. If you get an Anivia, you know, they may be on the losing team, but they still sustain a very high CS, and that's just because their abilities allow for that. So the next team fight...
Yeah, definitely. That's why they... oh, sorry.
Oh, not a problem. The next team fight's actually getting ready to happen up at the top here. As we're seeing Ramus spooling up. Will he go in? Will he not? I think everybody had their Banshees veils up, so he's choosing not to go in here. But they're at this tower, man. And the tower almost down already. Next minion wave is going to take it down as soon as these guys get up here. Because Ashe is just a tower destroyer at this point.
Yeah, definitely. That's why most teams insist on having an AD carry. Sure, they do a lot of damage, but AP carries also do that. A big part of the AD carry's job is to be the tower just destroyer. They'll take it down before you even know what's going on.
Yep, and both teams actually have that role fulfilled. Siver's probably one of the strongest tower pushers in the game, which is what GSG picked up. And now down goes that other top tower. So their only towers that are left are going to be the top and bottom inhibitor towers. These guys are going to push right up in here towards us. So at this point, man, really GSG needs to either determine if they can defend this or pretty much surrender. You can't just let them sit here and take your inhibs and your towers down because nothing's going to really change. There's not going to be any really, you're not going to catch somebody out of position. It's just going to be who goes in and who doesn't go in. And GSG's hoping they go in on the tower here so they get the tower to help them out a little bit. It's about all they're waiting for.
Yeah, they're definitely going to have to mount a defense of that inner tower if they want to actually stay in this game. They can't just let that go down and lose the second inhib, because if that happens, they're just going to be way too far behind.
Yeah, both teams just kind of trying to poke at each other here. And here we go, as we have HK now pushing in and committing himself to the tower. Ramus immediately doing what I told you he does, as he goes right after Ashe or Annie, and he's just going to be out there on his own, and he's going to drop down. And now the rest of the team very far behind as they're trying to commit in there. Jana dropping early as well, as she has very low HP. Amumu putting himself into a bad situation here. Cassidy chasing him down. Nav HK with a beautiful stun there on Cassidy, and looks like GSG definitely coming out the victors in this fight. Only person left up's going to be Annie right now.
Yeah, definitely. It's just another one of those fights where Ramus goes in first and they actually focus him, which is a really strange decision by HK, because they could largely ignore him, but they get punished for it again, and they almost get aced.
Yeah, and more importantly now, GSG probably going to be picking up this Baron kill. This game right now at 40 minutes is still anybody's game, which is so nice to see. I love these higher skilled matches where it's just not a blowout, man, and you get to see really good team fights like this over and over and over again.
Yeah, this is definitely shaping out to be a great game after the sort of rocky start that GSG had. They really they've managed to turn some of these team fights around.
And looks like, wow, GSG not going to finish off that Baron as everybody else is just now came up. They just didn't have the DPS there to end that, which was weird. They got him down to half health and just dipped out.
Yeah, they definitely got worried there, because you saw the respawn timers coming up for the enemy team, and they knew that they'd have another half a Baron left, and it's very unlikely they'd be able to finish it.
Yeah, which was weird because Sivir was there. I mean, Sivir's their damage output right now. You'd think it would drop a little bit quicker, especially because she has a Madrid's Blood Razor as well. So I'm surprised that it took that long to do that. one thing that you'll notice here, GSG at 42 minutes in the game, there's no warding up on Baron right now. So ultimately, HKEGG could be here at Baron right now. And they are! They are at Baron, and they have just finished that Baron up. And wow, GSG right underneath their nose there as they drop that Clairvoyance down to see what could possibly be their doom, Centripetal. What do you think about that?
I'm really disappointed to see them go for that red. I would have liked to see them go like immediately back to Baron if they thought they could like take it at all, if they had any chance of winning that team fight. Because giving them the free Baron is almost like giving them the game at this point.
Yeah, for sure, man. These guys are not in a good situation here. They have the Baron buff, and that's putting Ashe up to 324 damage. And you can just see, as even Cho'Gath, with as many bars as he has, just a couple hits from Ashe, taking him down. So the big thing on HKEGG now, a lot of protection has to go towards protecting Ashe. It's nice to protect Annie, but that Ashe really needs it. And here we go. We have Rammus coming in right now. We see Amumu moving in front of his path to block it. We're seeing Janna and Ashe running backwards with the Janna shield on there. 277 damage a hit. Cho'Gath trying to come in on him. Amumu is still doing a good job taking the brunt of that damage here. They did get Cho'Gath, but Cho'Gath with a GA up. And look at that, Sivir dropping down as well. Kassadin taking quite a few hits here. Cho'Gath coming back up, and he's going to drop like nothing there. And he is down. And Ashe is still up here. They are pushing through this fight. And that's going to leave GSG with just, I think, just Rammus and Taric up right now. Yeah, just Rammus and Taric being forced to defend this. HKEGG having everybody except for Amumu up. Amumu the only one going down, and these guys should not have a big problem ending this game right here, Centripetal.
Yeah, I definitely feel that's going to be GG. The Annie, the damage there was just ridiculous. You saw that Sivir just get immediately melted, and that was almost all Annie damage.
Yeah, that was pretty nice, guys, as this game has now finished up. This was round 6 in the ESL qualifier. GSG taking on HK Gaming. I am Pat the Twiz Harrison. Again, first time that we've seen somebody co-casting with me is going to be Centripetal, was on with us tonight. But join us for future casts, guys. Make sure you check out any stuff that we've done in the past, www.e-rev.tv. Also, feel free to check out my YouTube, Z2 Productions. Head on over there. Otherwise, guys, you guys have a great day. We are out.